Here at Crunch, working out is more than just working out. It's an experience that transcends words, a feeling so undefinable, it can only be described as feeling unbelievable now. Because here, the fun never stops. Everybody loves to multitask, and no one's got time to wait for a treadmill. At Crunch, we've got miles of cardio. And we've got a ton of weights, perfect for your bis, tris, pecs. Hey, stay with me, stay with me. There are no judgments here, even for this guy. Oh yeah, have we mentioned our dedicated hit zone? To the next scene. Doesn't matter if you're a gym virgin, we've got plenty of experience to get you to your O place. Oh! Feeling the effects of a good workout? Sink into a hydro massage. Recovery is important, people. At Crunch, your favorite classes are all under one roof. We've got the chart toppers, the classics, even the fun one your friend dragged you to against your will.
You're gonna love it.
All this starting at under 50 cents a day. Check out Crunch for everything you need to feel unbelievable now. At Crunch, the fun never stops. Keep on bouncing, Jerry.
Welcome to the main event. Applying pressure, but I promise I ain't make it then. In their heads, living free, I ain't paying rent. Wake up in the AM, making G's like Mercedes-Benz. Whoa, yeah, please don't take it.
When you want to feel good, you work out at Crunch. You don't go here, because here feels bad. But here, we help you feel good, feel strong, feel rejuvenated.
Come check out Crunch Fitness with a free guest pass.
Good afternoon and welcome to Islanders Soccer here. Capital City Islanders taking on York PAFC. We're here on the lovely campus of Bishop McDevitt at their great stadium here, Alex.
Yeah.
Rocco Ortenzio Stadium. This is the third of 3 friendlies. So I know head coach Johnny Morris isn't here. He was injured at work, but Johnny, if you're watching, dude, we're pulling for you, man. So we've got kind of the lineup more or less set for the squad here, Alex.
Yeah, our starting 11. We're missing a couple guys still. Yeah, Derek Ramirez not in the starting 11, but originally would be. But for the most part, starting 10 we're ready to go for next weekend. So really exciting. Guys looked great at training on Thursday, and I'm really excited to watch them play.
Yeah. So. Couple of questions, though, from kind of looking at the team. We'll have to see how this goes throughout the game here. We have yet to have a forward score for the team. Now, we haven't had that many games, so that is kind of a concern. We'll have to see, because Clovis Cabre off to join the U.S. military, so we wish him well there. But we've got Gyro stepping in.
Yep.
We've got some other guys that maybe could sub in. We'll have to see if we can kind of get, because that's a lot of goals going out the door with him. Sure. And then goalkeeper, we had 2 guys step in last week. Had a clean sheet. It was really nice to see. Killian O'Reilly, and Leo Lopez. So we'll see if they can kind of keep that going. But before we get too in depth here, let's take a look at an interview I did before kickoff here with interim stand-in head coach Chris Benegatti.
I'm here with stand-in head coach today, Chris Benegatti. Spin, what's it's a big step. Now you're taking the reins here. I would assume this is not the first time you've been the head coach for a team.
No, definitely not. I've been a head coach many times, and even had us in our round of 16 or 32 game last year. So this is, as the assistant, Johnny and I work really hard together. So this is a good day for us today.
Okay. So with that, you just handed me the lineup here. Are there any changes we should be looking at? Somebody were like, hey, this is somebody we're going to get a good long look at today?
Yeah, two kind of significant changes. Derek Ramirez is not here today, so we're going to throw a new player, Paco, into the midfield. He's done great in practice, plays with intensity, pretty smart on the ball. So it'll be good for us to get a long look at him to see what he can do with our starting crew. Also put in Josiah Ramirez, typically our center midfielder, put him out on the wing just to see if it gives us a different look. A little more technical ability out there, control the ball a little bit better. So we're excited to see what that looks like in a preseason tune-up.
So with that change, you're saying Paco would move into that number 10 spot, like kind of in the center?
Yeah, and this is for today, just to see what it looks like with the starting crew. Because a lot of our guys, we're throwing scrimmages, they end up playing with the backups, at the subs, so want to see what he looks like with our starters.
Okay. Any concerns? Obviously, this is a change. We were originally looking at Baltimore FC. Now we've got York PA FC. Any concerns about the level of competition? I know this is the last one before we go into the league, and Johnny's talked in the past, especially about, hey, it can be a 1-0 kind of game, grinding them out, but here we're up against a team that's 0-4 in their league, which is not necessarily as strong as, I would say, the UPSL Premier is.
Oh, yeah, definitely not as strong, but at the end of the day, soccer is soccer. It's hard to score goals. On a windy day here at McDowell, knock it around a ton, create a lot of scoring opportunities. Would we love to find the back of the net? Absolutely. But, soccer's hard. Scoring goals is probably the hardest thing to do in sports.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, great. Thank you.
Good luck today.
Appreciate it.
Hello again. I'm Rob Sterner, your host for tonight. Our opposition for the Capital C Islanders is York PA FC. They are a brand new team. They've got just 4 games under their belt in the Casa Select Liga. They're in Division 2 of that. I'll be honest, I had not heard of that until about 2 weeks ago. They are 0-4 with just 3 goals and 11 against, so they're clearly having some growing pains there. But they have a vision. Their goal here is to actually join the UPSL in the future and start their own youth setup. So hopefully they can kind of pull that together. Attacking midfielder Miguel Angel Carey is a co-founder of the team. He spent some time in Spain's 5th and 6th divisions with teams like CD Huracan Mejia and Atarfe Industrial CF, which, unless you're like a hardcore fan of Football Manager, you've never heard of, or if you're from that part of Spain. York FC also has a national team captain on the roster, which is interesting to say as the U.S. national team is in action today. Winger and fullback Seth Seidel is the captain for the Marshall Islands national team. The team played its first ever matches just last year. I found out about them through Football Manager YouTuber Zealand Shannon, so shout out to Zealand. He was on their roster for a day as their 3rd goalkeeper. So in that case, they're not entirely without some experienced players. They played a couple formations in their most recent games, kind of digging through how they've set up. They had a 3-5-2 formation, so that puts 3 dedicated defenders at the back, a couple wing backs to either side. So in defense, they could call in 5 players there. Other formation they used were a 4-3-3. It's a little more attacking, a little more proactive. And kind of to do that well against the Islanders here, they're going to have to push all their 3 forwards, probably a midfielder up to press the Islanders' back line and create some turnovers. However, if the Islanders can break the press and get passes through the lines, could be a happy day here for the Islanders. We're not entirely sure how they're going to go about setting up here, Alex, but they've got a starting lineup. They're here, and they've got a fairly deep bench considering. Yeah, so it should be interesting.
Definitely brought everybody they could to the game today. So I'm excited to see them play. They've been pretty active on TikTok and social media and stuff like that. They initially reached out to us a couple months ago. It just wasn't right timing for us. But with Baltimore City backing out, they stepped in, and we're here, and we're ready to see what happens today.
Yeah. So it does look like we're still potentially short a referee, but they might do the national anthem here. Alex, so next week is our home opener, but we're going to be here, and you said you were looking at the the radar and such, and saying, hey, because City Island can get a little swampy.
Yeah.
So just to kind of call things early so everybody can plan.
Yeah, just trying to be a little bit more proactive this year. That way we're not scrambling and, putting ourselves in Lancaster or somewhere crazy. If we can stay here in Harrisburg, I think, we'll still have that turnout. As much as we want to play on the island, it looks like that 18th game is going to be super, super nice. So we're excited for that. I actually went to the island the other day, and they're doing a lot of preparation for us. So they're doing some leveling of the grass, rolling it and overseeding it and aerating it. So super exciting. I think the field's going to be really, really nice this year. So really excited for that.
Good, because that was kind of a wild card. Some matches we could have, it felt like 6-inch deep grass. Other times it was super short. It was swampy and squishy in some corners. Other times it was, rock hard, very bumpy. Kind of reminds me of playing middle school soccer when I was a kid. And the field was like the 12th player.
Yeah. So I think this year we'll have some of those issues corrected, and hopefully we enjoy more games on the island. Although we do love Bishop McDevitt, they're super great.
Yeah, this is a beautiful venue. If you have not come out to a game, I certainly wish you would. We've got beautiful stands here already. We've got better part of 40 to 50 people, I would think, here. And taking a look at our starting lineups here. Let's take a look at start with the Islanders. In the back, we're going to start with Killian O'Reilly as our goalkeeper. Across the back with our defenders, we've got Aiden McWilliams, Jake Altimore, Josh Bender, and Andrew Myers. So it'll be good to see what those guys can do. At the base of the midfield, because Islanders play a 4-2-3-1, so the 2 there is William Kim. He was the Islander Insider player to watch a couple weeks ago, and then he went out and scored. Made me look like a genius. And then Hatu Galadima, he's going to partner up there most likely. The advanced midfield here, we've got Freddie Apoku, Pacao DeGraft, is that how you say it?
Yep.
Okay. He's a new one, so I'm really excited to see him. And Josiah Ramirez. And then up front, we've got number 9, Jai Rose. I like to see him get going, really kind of start feeling it. I see a goal out of him.
Yeah.
Really see what he can do. He just felt like in the first game he was kind of blunted, didn't really feel like he could kind of connect with the wingers too well. Second game, he was a little bit more involved. It felt like he was dropping deep a bit, kind of force himself to get involved. And then hopefully tonight he can find some openings, create some havoc up front.
Yeah, and again, just being new, like creating, a new system for us, and just learning how Jai plays. I mean, Jai's been super successful with Lone Star, scored a ton of goals there. He wasn't even the starter, but still scored about 20 goals. So, once we figure him out, he figures us out. I think we're going to find tons of success.
Yeah, and that's the big thing we've seen with the previous games. There was so much turnover and trying to get guys a run in real game time here that there was always a 5 to 7 minute kind of adjustment, and even then it was like they're getting up to speed, but are they on the same wavelength with the players around them? You could see like Drew Morris wanted certain things, like a pass a certain way, and he was talking to guys like, that was good, but this is what I like, and this is the way he wants it. And I got to think with the guys playing with Clovis for a whole season, so many games, so many different places, such intensity, they kind of got it in their head. This is how he likes the ball. He likes it a lot of times at his feet. He wasn't blindingly fast. So he wanted it, pass it to me, and then he can turn and do something with it. That was more his style. He's a very, very strong guy. So we'll take a pause here for the national anthem.
Here at Crunch, working out is more than just working out. It's an experience that transcends words, a feeling so undefinable, it can only be described as feeling unbelievable now. Because here, the fun never stops. Everybody loves to multitask, and no one's got time to wait for a treadmill. At Crunch, we've got miles of cardio. And we've got a ton of weights, perfect for your buys, tries, pecs. Hey, stay with me, stay with me. There are no judgments here, even for this guy. Oh yeah, have we mentioned our dedicated hit zone? To the next scene. Doesn't matter if you're a gym virgin, we've got plenty of experience to get you to your O place.
Oh.
Ooh. Feeling the effects of a good workout? Sink into a hydro massage. Recovery is important, people. At Crunch, your favorite classes are all under one roof. We've got the chart toppers, the classics, even the fun one your friend dragged you to against your will.
You're gonna love it.
All this starting at under 50 cents a day. Check out Crunch for everything you need to feel unbelievable now. At Crunch, the fun never stops. Keep on bouncing, Jerry.
All right, well, welcome back. We've got the guys out there warming up. Looks like they're gonna make the call for. Looks like we did end up finally with our third referee.
Just in time.
Yeah. So that's the nature of things down at this level, folks. Sometimes it's the players rolling a little late. Sometimes it's the referees, but we're getting underway on time, and we'll hopefully have a good game here ahead of us. So some interesting guys playing for York PAFC. Some of them did, Alex was telling me before the broadcast here, did try out for the Islanders, so it gives us an idea, like we have a little bit of insight about them. Seth Seidel is their Marshallese player. He's from Manchester, PA, but he does have Marshallese heritage, and he is the captain of the Marshallese national team. And they just, a year ago today, they were not a team. There was no team for the Marshall Islands, so pretty kind of amazing story for them, so that's pretty cool. One of the other players here, central midfielder, Jeremy Ogilvie. He lives in Gettysburg, PA right now, but he once played against Christian Pulisic. So it gives you an idea of, like, talk about sliding doors.
Yeah.
Like, who ends up where in their lives. And they do have a couple guys on the roster who are quite young. We have a 17-year-old on their team. Dunsky Theodore, he's from Haiti. So some really wide variety, and we're not above playing young players ourselves.
No, we're not.
If you're good enough, you're old enough.
Yeah, I mean, if you've paid attention to the U.S. Open Cup, I mean, they had a 14-year-old score a goal. I mean,
Yeah.
pretty amazing.
Yeah. I mean, there's been some youngsters in the Champions League. Didn't Bayern have to play somebody that was like 17 or 18?
Yeah.
Like, all right. Underway here. Islanders going from right to left in the blue. It's going to be a little tough here looking into the sun. Pressure early from the Islanders. Good pressure, good turnover ball. Back to Bender, back to O'Reilly.
It's definitely going to be tough to see York PAFC's numbers here. They got the white-on-white theme going on, so as that sun shines in our eyes, it's going to be a little bit tougher to see who it is.
Yeah, and we only got, that's another thing with playing at this level, we only got the roster a couple minutes before kickoff, so we'll do our best to tell you what's happening and who's doing it. But to be fair, we're mostly focused on how the Islanders are doing. And to start things off, they're pushing the ball around.
Oh, that's a handball. That's
Handball out of the box.
And a goal.
And a goal. Early goal here. We're just 1:19 into the game. Yeah, we're looking in the sun. We might have to rely on our stadium announcer to find out.
I definitely think that was Gyros. He was the only person that was close.
Yeah. Well, that'd be great to see. He has so much fun doing that.
Yes. It's very long.
It was. There you go. We were talking about him before the game. Be nice to see him get going, and pounces on a misplay. Ball goes out of play, but York looking possibly to go quick. We'll try to get you folks a replay there in just a moment. Yeah, turnover. Doesn't try to do anything fancy with it, just head it home.
Yeah, I mean, there definitely was a handball outside the box there, too, as well. I don't think the keeper knew where he was. But, hey, goal's a goal. We'll take it.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when I played many, many years ago. But head coach would always tell us the first 5-10 minutes of a game could be kind of crazy. The last 5-10 minutes, or right before half, just as we come back on the field from half and the end of the game, those are like the super critical. So if you can pounce, you can get a goal.
Yeah.
That's always nice to see. Kind of settle some nerves. Doesn't necessarily make you complacent, but says, hey, we got these guys.
Oh, boy.
Put that one well out of play. So we got a first corner of the game for the Islanders.
Corner kick for your capital city Islanders.
All right, as we get set up, two guys back. Looks like Altimore and Bender are in the box. Header back out and out of play. The wind is kind of blowing across the field at us. Goes short. Looks like Ramirez in there. Volley just past the goal. Good technique on the volley, though. Didn't sky it. We've had a little issue, a couple of shots the last two games, looking more like field goals. So 6 yard for York, PA. Good communication. It's always nice to hear. If we can hear the guys up there, they can definitely hear each other.
Yeah, and I will say that's one thing that our guys have definitely been better at, like just in training and stuff, that they've been communicating a ton. We'll see one of our defenders, center back, step in, and he's just vocal all day long. I mean, he'll talk on the field about nothing that has anything to do with the game, but
foul called. Sorry to interrupt, Alex.
No, you're good. No, but just overall communication has been great.
Yeah. When I was doing the interviews for our media day, a couple of the guys were like, I was trying to ask them, like, what is it that you do? What are you looking for in your position? What's a perfect game look like? And a lot of them it was, yeah, I'm looking around, I'm making everybody else better, but I'm also communicating. It's really a kind of a cool part of that.
Okay, so we got Freddie stepping up here. We'll see if he'll put it on frame. He's usually good for a couple free kick goals.
Straight into the wall. Down into the corner. A little bit of a scramble defense here from
Good turn by
York.
Aiden there.
Into the box. Ball. Goes through the far side. Good height, though. Good
Just
turn from Ramirez.
It's going to be a corner again.
Punches it wide. Yeah, we're pressuring them. They haven't really gotten past midfield, have they?
No, and
we're only 6 minutes into the game, but still.
I mean, this is the goal for us, right? We want to put teams under. We want to apply a ton of pressure. We want to create as many opportunities as we can throughout the game.
Far post. Keeper comes and goes for it. Lands on one of our players there. It looks like Bender.
Big Josh Bender over there. Yeah, I don't want him getting hurt in that mix.
Now, it looked like the keeper, I'm not even sure the keeper actually connected with the ball, that is. It went straight out. That's why they're getting the 6. Shot.
There's another shot by Jai. Well done.
Good block by the defender. Some physical play there. Foul called. That's what you want. You want guys to get in there and pressure. You don't mind fouls being given away that far away from our goal.
Yeah, no. And I think, Pacquiao stepping in for his first, start. So he'll figure it out. Just maybe trying to find his feet here. So I think he'll settle in. I know it might look like a silly foul, reckless foul, but it's not a terrible challenge.
Yeah, he's just got to get up to speed with everything. Working it down the line here. Ramirez with a speculative pass, but they're going to play it.
That was
an interesting choice.
Definitely an interesting choice there. Could have let it ride out.
Yeah.
Looks like they got a guy coming off here.
Yeah, somebody dinged up already. Although we want to win the game, we don't want to, send anybody to the ER today. We want to have everybody from both teams go home healthy. And
yeah, for sure. I mean, we've been facing this weird injury plague. I mean, we talk about head coach, getting hurt. Gage is out due to an injury to his hand, requiring stitches. And then Jeremiah Craig will be out for a little bit. He potentially needs surgery on his hand as well. Just a ligament.
Great pass.
Oh, yeah, well done. Corner kick. Well done, guys. But, yeah, is potentially going to need surgery and, hopefully not. But we could not have him for a couple weeks. So
yeah, and there's some key players there because a couple defenders that have been kind of stalwarts for the team. And Gage Souter's great because he's one of those utility guys. You plug him in pretty much anywhere, and he's going to do a job for you.
Yeah.
Because he's kind of played midfield. He's played defense. I bet you if you put him up at center forward, he'd be like, great, coach, put me in. I got this.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's a Swiss Army knife of our team, and he's so consistent, so reliable. So, yeah, like you said, Gage can pretty much go anywhere, and he would do a job.
Yeah. Good control there. Back to the keeper. It's one of those things as a defender, you got to have a nice level head. Islanders push it around.
Yeah, and you'll notice with our team, like you'll see here, Aiden McWilliams making a run, number 4. He was just playing right back, and now he is playing left back and getting involved in the attack. Andrew Myers switching over to the other side. I mean, our guys are so fluid this year in movements, and you'll see Josiah playing outside mid, Freddie playing outside mid. I mean, this year we are going to be so dynamic that it's going to cause chaos for teams.
Yeah. As I did play many, many years ago, and my senior in high school, the coach was like, you're not a forward anymore. I need you on defense. And I'm like, I don't know how to defend, coach. He's like, you just pick somebody, and I'll tell you who, and you just be a rabid dog. You just chase them around the whole game. And that was my job. I'm 5'6". I weighed 120 pounds in high school, but I was really fast. And I ended up being, I'll say I was kind of dumb. I didn't know how bad I could get hurt. And I was just kind of all over whoever the guy was. I'm like, this guy's not getting the pass. Nothing's going to him. Nothing's going out of him. And you just have to be relentless and just not switch off. And eventually you annoy somebody so much because you're like, oh, it's that guy in my back pocket again. But with everybody moving around, you can't really play. Like if you play man-to-man, we're just going to pull you out of position eventually because our guys are so fit. That's part of the ethos of our team. Are so fit.
Well, yeah, and the other thing is, all that movement is going to create overloads on certain sides and on certain guys. So these guys, I mean, our guys are smart, so they'll be able to pick up, like, all right, hey, we're going to overload. He's going to be offsides, yep.
Offside call on that one.
We're
Still a good idea.
Overload, an outside back or something. We're going to send 3 guys at him, and it's just going to cause him to just panic or fold. So, this group is really, really smart, really high-level players. So, like I said, I'm excited for this year. I think we're going to be really tough to beat.
Yeah, I think we've had matches where you see all our guys when we're lining up and the other team's bigger. And you're like, oh, this could be a little rough. And then you actually see them play, and it's like, it's not about how big you are. This isn't American football where you can just bully somebody around. Right. It's like, if you're smarter and fitter, eventually that'll toll.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you'll just pull them out of position, and you'll find the opening.
Yeah, I mean, you look at like Freddie, who's had great success in his playing career. I mean, not a big guy, but fit and just so smart.
Yeah.
Just so smart.
Yeah, he does get stuck into challenges, but he doesn't ever really do anything that looks like he's going to get himself hurt doing it. Where sometimes we've played against teams that the players were just reckless with their own body, kind of foolishly so. Remember that one game we had last spring? I can't remember who it was against, but with 2 red cards, I mean, that was very ugly. I don't mind a strong physical team, but if you're just going to play outside the rules, that's no fun. It's just dangerous. So it does look like they're essentially defending in a 4-4-2, if I'm reading this right, which isn't uncommon. Keeping 2 guys up. Does mean in the midfield they might only have 2 guys. No foul called on that one. So depending upon how we move around, we could have an extra man in the midfield.
Yeah.
Like centrally.
I mean, right now,
if our number 10 kind of drops back.
we have about 5 in the midfield.
Yeah.
So if they're playing anything other than like a 3-5-2 or anything like that, I mean, we're gonna overload that midfield and we're gonna dominate that midfield. But like I said, you're gonna see guys like you'll see Josiah switch into a forward position, or you'll see Freddie switch into a forward position. So our formation will constantly change. We might go 4-4-2 or 4-2-3-1 is Coach Johnny's style of play, but that'll switch into a 3-5-2 and into other formations as we build and play.
Yeah, even when we went down a man for one of the games last year, Johnny wasn't too I mean, he wasn't happy, but he certainly wasn't too flustered. It's like, hey, we got a plan. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to deal with this, and this is how we're going to move people around. And it was nice to see the guys were like, yeah, we got this. We're going to buy in, and we'll try to hold it for what it was. But hopefully we won't see any of those. Some good interchange down the right-hand side there.
Yeah, I would just like to see Atu just hold on to that. We're moving quick. We're trying to get in, but we're not really getting pressed. So we can sit in, hold the ball, move it a little bit longer.
Referee giving a little bit of a tongue lashing there to Gyros up front. Apparently not quite giving the goalkeeper enough space, but he was well outside the box. I'm not really sure what the issue was.
Yeah, I'm still thinking they might not know where the box is.
Yes, because this is a multi-purpose field. We've got lacrosse, we've got field hockey lines, and then on top of all that, we've got the lines for soccer as well as American football. Interesting. York FC has got all the players gathered around here over on the side. I'm kind of curious what's going on down there.
Wouldn't be a bad idea to keep warm.
Yeah, I wonder if he's having a chat with them. He's going to do, because it is a friendly.
Yeah.
Cycle some guys in and say, okay, this is what I want you guys to try to do. But Islanders on the attack. Push out wide here.
Well done.
Ramirez.
Oof. A little bit of a heavy pass there by Josiah, trying to find Freddie.
Good pressure from Islanders out there. And out of bounds there. Quick throw. Islanders looking to recycle things. So Alex, while we got a sec here as the guys are moving things around, I want to talk a little bit about some of the promotions we got going on this year for the Islanders. The big one, at least for me, I'm a high school. For the folks at home that don't know, I'm a high school English and journalism teacher at Hershey High School. So, I mean, I'm a parent. Lots of parents in the high school building. So the Hershey Park Pass Night, a little bit of an attack there from York, PA. So the Hershey Park Pass Night will be back here May 2nd. Can you tell us a little bit about that, Alex?
Yeah, so super exciting event that we are able to partner with Hershey Park and be able to offer 1,500 tickets to youth 12 and under. Everybody knows the cost to attend Hershey Park, right? Before you even get in on that first ride, you're looking at about $100.
Yeah, it's like full price tickets about $80. Parking, last I checked, was about $20. I'm not sure.
I think it's up a little bit more now. So, for a family of 4, it's really expensive. So we were able to partner with them, and they love the idea. They'd never worked with a soccer team before. They've obviously done stuff with the Hershey Bears. They've done stuff with the Senators. And I was like, hey, here's a great opportunity to also get in the soccer world. Soccer's really big in the central PA area.
And it's a World Cup year, too.
And it's a World Cup year, right? And shocking enough, Hershey Park was actually supposed to be a FIFA World Cup hub.
Was it?
Yes, but FIFA requires all the branding and stuff to be taken down. So for Hershey, that just didn't make sense for them.
That would have been so cool.
It would have been great. I would have loved it. Ride rides, enjoy the World Cup, like screens just everywhere. But yeah, so for them to take down all of their advertisement, everything Hershey related, it was going to be more expensive than they'd like it to be. But it's just great opportunity to hopefully draw more people to an Islanders match, and hopefully more people to Hershey Park.
Yeah. So that will be get a ticket say for example for my family, we get 2 adult tickets, 1 youth, because my daughter's 4.5, soon to be 5, and then it'd be, I believe it's a $14 ticket for youth, and then you have to be here.
Correct.
So I was asking you about that in case folks a little bit further afield were like, hold on, Hershey Park pass ticket, that sounds great, but you do have to be here at the venue, and that was your first 1,500, you said.
Correct. Oh, that's a rough challenge there.
That's an offside too.
You have to be here, and you should want to be here because it's going to be a great game against New York Cosmos. They're back in action. That's where Pele played.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a great game. They took down New York Renegades.
Wow.
So, we also lost to Renegades as well in the round of 16 last fall.
When did Cosmos play them?
It was just a preseason match a couple weeks ago. Renegades were up 2-0, and then Cosmos came back and won 4-2.
Wow.
So they definitely have the firepower. They have a USL 1 team.
Yeah.
So the team that we're going to be playing is their second team. Mm-hmm. But it's filled with talent.
Yeah.
It's their development team.
Yeah, and as I was saying, the Cosmos, they're a reborn team, let's say. They're not quite the same as they were back in the day when they brought Pele in. I believe it was 1975 shot, and it goes in off the free kick.
That was a great goal.
I believe that was
Josiah Ramirez.
Ramirez, yeah. Yeah, I thought the keeper was just going to parry it away, but he did get his hands to it, but then it went in. Goal at 20:46. All right, let's take a look. Good right-footed shot. Keep it low. Keeper got to it. And if I'm that keeper, man, I'm disappointed with that.
Yeah, definitely got his hands to it. So that's a little disappointing, but it's a great goal. We'll take goals wherever we can get them.
Yeah. And we know from past experience, Josiah's definitely got that one in his locker.
Oh, yeah.
He's, I've talked to him about that. After practice, he says pretty much every practice, he is working on that and trying to make sure that, hey, if we need a goal, or if we're trying to get a goal here, that's one of those things that we're absolutely trying to work on, because that could be some free goals there. Offside called on the Islanders. So Islanders up 2-0, 22 minutes gone on the clock.
They're going to pull that one back so the ball is moving, so.
Yeah. So one of the other promotions, Alex, as we were talking about it, since the national team, USA national team, is playing today,
yes,
late in the season, we've got a another promotion we're doing. It's our last home game, correct?
That's
That'll
the last
be
regular
our
season
World
home
Cup
game, yeah.
/ International Night. What's the deal with that one?
Yeah, so we've partnered with Michelob Ultra and Fox 43 for this event. Obviously, that game's May 30th, so just 2 weeks away from the World Cup kicking off. So there's no better time for us to get involved in that action. And what we're going to be doing is we'll be hosting World Cup night. We'll work with Philly Lone Star. They're a very diverse club, just like we are. So we will come up with some really cool things to do, like pre-match. But the big thing is that thanks to McUltra and Fox 43, we're going to be giving away World Cup tickets. 2 tickets to a match in Philadelphia. Got to be there, got to be over 21 because it is a McUltra giveaway.
Okay.
So 21 and over, you purchase a ticket, you're automatically entered to win 2 tickets. Now you can use those tickets if you want to take one of your kids. You can do that. We just aren't able to give tickets to the kids.
I getcha.
So it just has to be an adult 21 and over to accept that.
So it has to be an adult ticket. That's what, like, how the
Correct.
selection will be from the pool of adult tickets.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I know at one point we were potentially looking at, could we sell extra tickets to be
We're working on that. I
don't know if that's
I have to go through McUltra and their like World Cup staff, as well as Fox 43 to figure out how and if we're able to do that. But I mean, the tickets are $10 to that game. So if you're asking me, will I pay $10 to go watch a World Cup? I will absolutely do it.
Oh my gosh, my wife and I were looking. She's like, oh, she was going to get it for me as like my birthday's in November. She's like, it's going to be an early birthday present. But it was like $1,000 a ticket.
Yes.
And that's for like the cheapest nosebleed seats. Good turnaround here from the Islanders after that attack from York, PA. But yeah, $1,000 a ticket. Ugh. Shot.
Yeah,
low in the corner.
Good job, guys. I mean, we
Is
are
that
just
Freddie?
That was Freddie Apoku.
Freddie Apoku on the goal. That was another classic Islanders kind of attack. Down the wing, get it inside, create some chaos in the box. And it's not always necessarily the forward because that draws a lot of the attention from the attack. Ends up being Freddie Apoku coming in from the wing on this one.
Yeah, I mean, 3 goals. The 3 guys we would love to see goals from. Jai, Freddie, and Josiah.
Yeah, let's take a look at the replay. So, touches it back. It does look like... So Ramirez brings it in on the wing. Gets it in the middle. Settles and shot again into the corner, making the goalie go to his left, getting him again. Not 100% sure who was on the assist there.
Yeah, and we'll start to see some of our guys coming off the bench now. We'll see Drew Morris getting in. The reason he didn't start just wasn't at practice this week. Had a ton of work to do. So obviously all of our guys work full-time jobs. So it's understandable. But there is a standard that we have to hold these guys to. We have guys that show up to practice every single day. So that's why. But he'll come in, he'll cause havoc with his speed.
Oh, absolutely.
And then Luke Kramer, who probably is step for step as fast as Drew Morris. So it's going to be fun to watch them. Right now they're on the same side, but if it was me, I would put them on opposite sides and you just have problems.
Yeah.
If you're the
Well, even
opponent.
this way, you've got great overlaps then.
Oh, absolutely.
With Kramer back there as the wing back. It'd be nice if those two can kind of get on the same wavelength getting into the season here. Because I know we have Jeremiah Craig.
That's a great ball. And it's a great run by Aiden there. He's going to save that. Nope.
Almost.
That was
Almost.
a great ball.
But Jeremiah Craig, we had such 2 really good seasons out of him. And to look at him, you're like, oh, he's a good player. Then you're like, oh, he just graduated high school last year.
Yeah. Yeah, when he started his first game, he was still going to school every day. So,
Shot.
Freddie.
Speculative shot up over the box there, but Islanders up 3-0, 27 minutes in.
Yeah, so our guys, you'll probably see on social media, our guys were out at Chick-fil-A this morning doing a player appearance. And we were, playing in the parking lot. We had a bunch of fans come.
That's cool.
Talked to a bunch of new fans, which is really cool. A lot of people that are interested in soccer. So it was great. We enjoyed our time at Chick-fil-A. They're such a great sponsor. They're so just warm and welcoming, as they are when you go and get food there, right? But they're just unbelievable. They're willing to do whatever it takes to make sure our guys are taken care of. So thanks to Chick-fil-A Lindell Road for having us today. Breakfast was amazing, and we had tons of fun.
Well, that's great. Yeah, we love to see it. If you are interested, and I'll put a plug in here, if you're interested in sponsoring the Capital C Islanders, the broadcast, heck, the newsletter at any kind of a level, just get to our website and shoot us an email. Depending upon whatever price point you're at, we can find something that can work. Not everything here, it's not like going to a Bears game where like the starting level of stuff is,
Yeah.
$10, $12, $15,000 to get like a tiny little banner.
That's correct. Yeah.
You can get a heck of a lot of bang for your buck here, and we're still a young and growing team. This is just the start of our second year here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, for us, we want to be community driven. We want to connect with the businesses. I would say all the businesses that we are partnered with, we have a relationship with. I probably say I communicate with them the most, but, our guys go to Crunch Fitness. They all have memberships to go there, work out. They do Zumba. They do the different classes. It's pretty funny to watch them. They did a cycling class. A couple of them were like on the verge of tears because it was so rough. But
Different kind of fitness.
Yeah, our goal is to be connected to the community, and that's what I try and preach to these guys is, hey, if you give to the community is going to give back to you.
Yeah, we've got a couple new sponsors this spring season here. A couple of new ones that are on here. We've got Ziering Physical Therapy. So if you're dealing with an injury, recovering some surgery, like it sounds like some of our guys might be.
Yeah.
If you're looking to move and feel better, Ziering PT has you covered with personalized one-on-one care to get you back to your best. Trusted by athletes in the local community alike, get back in the game with Ziering Physical Therapy.
Looks like the ref's having a conversation with Josiah.
Back underway here. Good step there from, looks like Bender. Able to get things back under control. Could have been a dangerous attack. York PAFC had 5 guys going forward, but just couldn't make that pass. A couple of the other sponsors we got that are new this year, as you said, they're Alex Michelob Ultra. They're the official beer sponsor of the 2026 FIFA World Cup and proud supporter of the Capital C Islanders. Whether you're celebrating a goal, as we've got 3 already on the board, which is nice, a big win, or just love of the game, enjoy the crisp, refreshing taste of Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer for superior moments.
It's my go-to.
All right. Good control here from the Islanders. Everybody moving forward, but not going crazy. Just as I say that, we got a little bit too speculative a pass. Over the top.
Well done there, Aiden.
Good control. That was one of the things when I was interviewing all the defenders, a lot of the, like, what is it that is a key part of what you do in your position? It was that, don't make any mistakes, but also it was like, be cool and calm, and like, you got to control things, think ahead, and like, you're trying to keep the game in front of you, but also like, read the game so you can kind of short circuit the opponent's attacks and things. And that's that's kind of tough to do because it's like a chess match, but you've got to see the field and not just the play that's happening just that moment. Ball goes out of play. Another new sponsor we've got here as the guys are getting things organized back there. ScoPro, official coaching product sponsor, your capital C honor. ScoPro coaching products now available at the merchandise stand. The great gift for the soccer coach in your life.
Yeah, which our coaches got coaching boards and notebooks and all that stuff to keep them organized. Really great products. Again, it's a small company. They're actually based out of Arizona, and I connected with their owner, and it's a big touch there by Freddie. But Aiden McWilliams is there. They're going to call that back for the foul. They're going to say no advantage there. But yeah, so I was kind of like following them on Facebook, and I was like, hey, like your products look great. Could we get one for our coaches just so we'll do some advertisement for it. And then we ended up finding a partnership where we think it's going to work. And now we're able to offer it here in our stadium for coaches that come and visit and stuff like that. It's a dual-sided board. Comes with 24 magnets. Get the coach's notepad. It's a really great gift.
If I'd have known, I'd have bought one because I bought one for myself. Because when I'm doing the little Islander Insider kind of video podcast stuff, I want to be able to like talk about and be able to explain. He goes down hard, but they're calling a corner. I guess you could hear from the shouts. We were looking for a foul in the box that would have ended up being a penalty kick. But yeah, I bought my own so I can kind of explain to folks. Because not everybody's super well versed in soccer. Hey, we can look at it, but how do you know what's good when you see it? Soccer's a very different sort of sport, perhaps than lots of folks may have grown up with. And if I can explain a little bit of the ins and outs with something you can see, it's kind of visual. I know for lots of folks that are, if you can see it, then it's like, oh, that's what's going on. That's what we're trying to do when I say like, hey, we line up in a 4-2-3-1. Like, what is that? I don't know. When I was a kid, it was like, yeah, you had 4 in the back, 3 in the middle, 3 up front.
Or
but we
4-4-2, yeah.
We didn't really know what the heck that meant. Not really. It was like, oh, you're a forward, you're a whatever. Good attack shot.
There. That was covered well by Killian in goal there.
Yeah, pretty easy save.
I would say his first actual event of the game.
Yeah, and then I'm trying to keep stats here, and that would be the first official shot at 35 minutes in for York, PA. So it's good to see they're not just crumbling, they're still fighting for York, PA. It can always be a tough thing. You get a goal or two down. It's like, okay, sometimes the legs go, and they don't really have any fight into it, but they're still trying to go as if the score was 0-0.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely going to have to do better on our possession out of the back. I mean, that's 2 balls there that we turned over.
Yeah.
That led to a transitional opportunity for them. So
you get a different team that could be.
Oh, yeah. It'd be
2 goals.
2 goals in the back of the net.
Yeah. So they end up with their first corner kick of the game here for. Yeah, they're going to the other side there. So they'll have the wind's blowing pretty strong if you look at the corner flag. So it's kind of from sunward to where we are on the near side of the field here, where the wind's coming at us. Islanders have 2 guys out of the box, headed well up and over.
And we got some subs coming in now. Obiazi Chanatu will probably come in up top for gyros. And that is what is happening.
Well, we got a moment here. I was doing some research before the game. I'm a little teeny bit of a history nerd, even though I'm an English teacher. And it was on this day. Now, this is not necessarily a happy history here for Pennsylvania, but on this day in 1979, 3 Mile Island had its accident. Yeah. 47 years ago. I was a teeny, tiny little tot. I don't really remember it
I certainly don't remember it.
What year were you born?
92.
92. Oh my goodness. I was 92. I would have been a sophomore in high school.
Oh man.
Yeah. I turned 50 this year, so.
Well, that's exciting. Turned 50, the United States 250th.
Yeah, I was born on the bicentennial.
That's awesome.
Now, if I didn't feel like I was 250 years old, I'd like that. But some days. No, it's a classic thing. If you have your health, you know what? And a healthy family.
True.
Offside. He's always pushing that, but
yes,
he's got to kind of get in full season shape for that, you know.
I feel like we need a little like buzzer in his ear when he gets too close. We got to let him know.
That sounds really illegal against the laws of the game. I mean, that sounds also like, oh, yeah, here's this thing. But, yeah, that would be.
Well, now with the way they're talking about changing the offsides rules, I mean.
Oh, yeah.
You can have your whole entire body minus like a hair.
You're like reaching back in your arm.
You're going to be on.
I'm curious to see how that
I think
happens.
that's going to be tough to call. I mean.
Especially like there's the non-replay level.
Sure, yeah. And the thing is, great shot by Freddie. Good save there by
Good save by the keeper. Good curler.
Yeah, I just think, we have these systems that we...
Oh, they go quick.
Oh, boy. So, yeah,
into the box.
That's another corner.
Yeah, get another corner out of that. Yeah, see, it looked like they were trying to catch him napping.
They definitely caught me napping.
Yeah, they're going super short again.
Oof, that's got to be a PK.
Nothing.
Wowzers. That's also out. So we'll get back to the corner kick again.
Yeah, the referee's letting them play. Yeah, see if we can take a look and see what the heck happened there as they're setting up for the corner. Morris goes for it. That was the one that went out of play there. Back underway.
Short near post there. That wasn't a bad ball.
Good track back by the Islanders.
But yeah, to get back to like that offsides thing, we've been doing this for however many hundreds of years that we've played soccer, and then we're going to change it. I just think people are going to be so accustomed to calling that, especially referees.
Yeah, it's going to be weird.
Because especially at the high level, referees been doing it for 30 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So the original offside rule, it was really wacky. You had to have 3 guys between you and the keeper, right?
Yeah.
So it was a little strange, and then you get into like the 1920s, it goes down to just 1, and that's where we kind of solidified it. So you've got basically, 126 years now.
Yeah.
There's nobody living that was playing
at
that time. So it's like it's a little strange. It was definitely a good rule to change because the game, I mean, prior to that, it was very much just kick and chase. It was the only way you could break a team down, to have 3 guys between you and the keeper. So it was very extreme, but this like no daylight kind of thing is going to be weird.
It is.
Because you get somebody like, and at this level, calling that, like, you better be able to keep up with Drew Morris.
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't know, if I'm head coach Johnny Mort, man, I'm telling him, like, heck, touch the guy if you have to.
Yeah.
And as soon as that ball is kicked, you're off.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting.
Because if he's already got a half step on somebody, he's already, like, a step and a half faster than most of these guys out here. You give him that half step already, forget it, he's gone. So it'll be crazy to see how that kind of that part plays out. So yeah, as I was saying before we got into like all the corner stuff kick, the accident there at 3 Mile Island, which for a while there it sounded like they were going to decommission, and now it's going to be reopened by Microsoft as a power plant for data centers and stuff.
I actually didn't even know that. So that's actually interesting. Oh, Obi, you're in?
Keeper powers it away into the stands.
Just turn inside, buddy. Just turn inside, yeah. There you go. That's got to be a foul.
He's calling the foul now.
He's going to call it right outside.
Just
too.
outside the box. Yeah, it's like the referee's trying not to
give us too much.
Not to give any any PKs here.
Yeah, don't need any extra chances, which is fine.
Oh, quick tap.
Yeah,
Shot
what a goal.
through the keeper's legs. So, was that Ramirez?
That was Josiah.
Josiah says he's got a brace now. And we're at 43 minutes on the nose. That was off a quick tap off the foul. So we got an assist there from Morris. Great play. Let's see if we can take a look at that in a replay here while the guys are working their way back. That'll make the Islanders 4 on the board. We'll have it here for you in just a moment. All right, see if we can take a look at that. So, they set up just outside the box, quick tap. Ramirez blasts it right through the keeper's legs. Yeah, just two with it.
Yeah.
You know, they're keyed up, they want to go. It's like a bunch of greyhounds, they want to run. And that's what sometimes can happen with a team going down. Legs start to go a little bit, head goes down, and they're not on top of every last play. No foul called.
It's a bit weird.
Now we've got a York PAFC player down. Looks like maybe his hamstring is... See how he took one right where it counts, you know?
Yeah.
Hopefully he'll be all right.
Drew's trying to plead his case, but nothing's going to change.
No, we'll give him a moment here. Some other weird things from history. So going back through it, March 21st, not the 28th, that's today, 1992. Chelsea midfielder Vinnie Jones receives the very fastest yellow card in Premier League history. I believe it was the Premier League back then. Against Sheffield United. Yeah. And Vinnie Jones actually went on to be an actor playing tough guys. So, I mean, it's kind of, you know, he's playing what he was.
Was it a foul, or did he just walk on with, like, out shin guards on, or? I
think probably he just went and just, you know.
Clobbered somebody as soon as he stepped on the field? Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably some bad blood from previously and just like, yep, I'm going to have you. You're mine.
Should have played hockey. All right, and that's halftime. So 4-0.
All right.
First half.
Yeah, 4-0 at the half. We've got goals from Jai Rose off a turnover header really quickly and early on. A brace from Josiah Ramirez. One off a free kick, one off a kind of a foul free start, kind of restart there. And then Freddie Opoku at an open play with a low shot. Gets it right past the keeper. So we'll be back in just a moment and kind of break everything down. But 4-0 at the halftime over York PAFC. That's your Capital C Islanders. All right, welcome back. We're just ready. Well, we're underway. Excuse me for the second half here. That went pretty quick for us. I'm Rob Stern alongside Capital C Islanders owner and CEO Alex McGee. So, Alex, pretty good first half for the guys.
Yeah.
Just kind of what we were kind of dialing up. We knew that York PAFC wasn't necessarily at our level, but you don't necessarily want to go out into a game and play at the opponent's level. You want to play at your level.
Right. Yeah. I think we've done that. I think, we can even play at a higher level. But these guys were told, don't do anything crazy, don't do anything reckless. Let's stay healthy for next weekend when we kick off here at McDevitt against SFC.
Yeah. So first half, some of the stats here, shots alone kind of tell the story. We had 11 by my count. They had 2. And we came away with 4 goals. Attacking here again. It's a little tough for us to see, folks. We're looking into the sun a little bit. And you're able to see a much better shot there on camera. Corner kicks, we had 7. They had just the 1 corner kick. Goalkeeper saves, we only had 1. I'm not even sure I'd entirely call it a save, but he
laid down for it.
Yeah. Their keeper had 4 saves, but he also had 2 goals go in that you'd hope pretty much any keeper should be able to stop. He had 1 hit him right in the hands and go in, and then the other just pure nutmeg straight between the legs into the goal. That's one makes you look bad. So the York PAFC have, by our check, we believe they have, it looks like they have changed their goalkeeper. So we'll see if they have any better luck that way. Fouls relatively even on either side. They had 7, we had 4, but no yellow cards. There was at least 1 probably where the keeper was well out of his box for York PA. I think the referees didn't entirely get the grips with where the lines were, and that probably, regardless of that, ended up being the first goal there from Gyro. Should have been a card regardless, probably.
Yeah. I mean, it
you're playing outside. Yeah, playing it outside the box should have been something at least, but referee lets it go. The center referee does seem to be kind of letting them play, so we'll have to check and see the second half here, see if it gets any rougher as perhaps frustrations mount as they're attacking down the far side.
Ball stayed in there.
All right, finally goes out of play there. So pretty good show from the guys. We've got early, 119 into the first half, header from Jai Rose, puts it away. Good solid defense back here, getting things out. A little loose in the passing. Then the first of Josiah Ramirez's goal at 20 minutes. Game kind of settled down there for a little while, but then it kind of broke back open there. Josiah Ramirez on a free kick at 20:46. And then we've got Freddie Apoku.
Great through ball there. And another one. Can Drew just spin and hit it? Oh, boy, where's he going with that?
Kind of lost track where the goal was, it looked like.
And there's another one.
Keeper just going to play basketball with it back there.
Sorry.
So we'll call that a shot and a goalkeeper save. And then third goal, as I said, was from Freddie Apoku. Puts it low to the right-hand side. And then Josiah Ramirez connects with Drew Morris in a kind of a nifty set-piece play, kind of catch the York PAFC kind of napping a little bit, and he just powered it right between the keeper's legs and kind of caught him helpless and napping there a bit.
It's a good through ball to Jai. Finish it. Oh.
Kind of scuffed his left-footed shot.
I think he was trying to be generous to try and give that ball inside to Freddie or Drew there. But sometimes you just got to, want it for yourself.
Yeah. Patient build-up play here.
There's Freddie ball, just got hit
on it. Lays it off to Ramirez.
Well
Morris.
done. Good save there by the
good
keeper.
Shot. Good save from the keeper. see what the call is here from the refs. The
So
Islanders ball. So that's the tale of the game so far. We're just a little ways into the second half. The Islanders are up 4-0. Assistant coach Chris Spinagati stepping in today. Head coach Johnny Morris out with a workplace injury. So we hope Johnny will be back on the sidelines before you know it.
It's a good turn there by Aiden. Drive to the
inside.
baseline, and it's going to be a corner kick.
Yeah.
So
Got himself a corner, playing it off the defender. Send the big guys in. Bender and Altamore move in. It'd be nice to see Bender and Altamore kind of start getting on the end of something. Goes short on this one. Lefty into the box, off the defender. Defender doesn't really control it. Ball goes out of play.
I think they called a foul there.
Yeah, it does
Yep.
look like, yeah.
I will say William Kim has been pretty quiet today.
Yeah.
Not that that's a bad thing. You know, with that, oh, geez, Drew.
Morris powers one through the uprights.
You know, with everybody, like our starters starting, you know, we look at Freddie, Josiah, all those guys, you know, it's a much higher level. So not everybody's going to stick out when we are wanting them to stick out because things are just looking good on the field. So, yeah, not a bad thing, but I don't recall the ball at his feet very much. So let's see if he'll get involved in the second half.
Yeah, be nice to see, because he was pretty dynamic last time, getting both back for defensive duties, but also kind of looking to push the ball up the field a little bit more than he was the first game.
It's well done there by Jai. That's not a very good ball by Aiden, but just composure down in the corner.
Yeah.
Trying to get some more guys into the box. It's a good tackle.
All right, Freddie Poku surveys. Now that the sun's starting to set, we can see numbers a whole lot better. I apologize for the first half, folks. It was a little tough to see from our vantage point exactly. And then for the York PAFC, they've got silver numbers against a white jersey. And it's really tough to see. Drew Morris trying to dance his way through and gets his pocket picked. Good step and fence. Freddie Poku, calm. Back into the middle.
See if he can get off his
He's
foot.
looking for a shot, but wisely waits
Oof.
for it.
Yeah,
A
handball.
handball called. Unfortunate. Not really anything he was doing there on purpose. And we got a little gamesmanship here from the goalkeeper. Looks like we've got a couple Islanders up off the bench set to go in, trying to warm up. So we got Owen Shea up off the bench. We'll see if we can get the rest of the guys. And number 2.
That's Palumi Abiola.
Palumi Abiola.
Yep. That's the center back I was referring to that communicates very, very well. And then we have Sam Johnson going in as well.
And then number 3.
That's Ibrahim Mohammed.
We saw him kind of here and there a little bit last I don't know if he played last season, but last spring I believe.
Correct.
He
Yeah,
played.
last spring. Yeah. So he'll come in. He'll contribute. He's very well, you know, aware and experienced in the midfield. So he'll do good things in there.
Yeah. Is there? I know we've talked about it a little bit in the past. Is there still long-term plans to potentially have a second team going to get some of these guys like real-world game time in like UPSL, D1.
Yeah, so still in the plans. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Obviously,
A lot of moving parts.
Yeah, ton of moving parts.
So you need a whole coaching staff.
I need a whole coaching staff. Got to figure out venue to train
transportation.
Yeah, so there's a lot that goes into it, and we're still
more than just photocopying the first team.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we're still very adamant about the academy. Like really, really excited that that ball gets duffed out of bounds. Really excited for that. We still have a lot of people reaching out. And if you're listening, I just ask, a little bit of patience. We're trying to put the pieces together. There's a lot of things that go into it. We have a ton of interest for the women's team. So,
yeah, that'd be super cool.
We have a timeline for everything that we're doing. The biggest thing is, we need to make sure that this team is still performing at the highest. We have all the resources to do that before we start looking to spend additional resources.
Yeah. You don't want to kill
areas.
the whole program by starting too much too fast.
Right.
And,
Absolutely.
And, putting the whole organization into debt to do so, and painfully so, and not be able to sustain it.
That's a great ball. Oh, that's a handball.
Whoa, that was an interesting.
I would say that's probably like hand of God. He's going to give a yellow card for that.
That was. We'll see who gets the yellow for that. That was like
hand of God.
That was like Little League. I'm not sure I've seen anybody do that before. Like you're going up to head the ball. He could have easily headed the ball. He was right there to head the ball. There's nobody around him, and he threw both hands up at it. That was bizarre. Good job to get the ball out of his feet.
There it is.
Freddie
Good goal.
Cranks
Holy
one
moly.
right past the keeper. That was a good job down the sideline there. Number 22, Sam Johnson. Two guys on him, splits the defenders with a pass, gets it in there. We'll have to see on the replay, see who he got it to, and then gets it to Freddie Opoku, and Freddie just leathers that one. So here's Sam Johnson down there, gets it out of his feet. Little tap. Freddie to his left, quick, right back through it. Great shot from the sideline cam here. That's that quick play. Outstanding. So that's second for Freddie Opoku. We got Freddie with 2 and Josiah Ramirez with a brace as well. So that makes it 5 on the board here with 58 gone.
Yeah, I think the gates are going to really open up here. And I'm sure, Spin is going to get these guys subbing in and getting our starters out. This game's definitely out of reach for York PAFC. So we'll start seeing some of these guys pop up, get in the game, and some of our starters, resting, putting their feet up and getting ready for next weekend. I mean, next weekend is going to be, we can either start the season off really well or we can start off really bad. And hopefully we're getting off on the right foot. Big, important game for us to get started.
Yeah, set the tone. It's always tough to tell how much turnover there is in other teams in the league at this level.
Right.
Because like us, like you said, we've recruited guys from other teams. Like you said, one guy Jai came from Lone Star, right?
Yeah.
That's within our division, within our league, and we're poaching him because he wants to play. And he proved himself, and now he's the guy.
Yeah.
So, and that's what winning gets you.
Absolutely.
Other players are like, oh, you guys win, I want to play for them. I want to be part of that.
Yeah, and I think that's always been, the goal. And I mean, you look at it at any level of any game, right? Teams that win attract players. Like we look at the Eagles when they were winning Super Bowls, Kansas City when they were winning Super Bowls. Guys want to go there. They want to be a part of that winning culture. And I think for us as well, we do a lot of things outside of the scope of the game that a lot of clubs don't do. A lot of clubs charge players $400 to play. Our guys don't pay anything. So I think it's really, just something that we have focused on to be able to bring in these guys and continue to make it attractive for everybody to want to come here, and it's going to help us build those academies and those development programs as well, because we're going to hopefully try and do the same across the board for everybody.
So we had Nick Ritter and Obi Chinatu coming in. Yeah, I think there's a certain momentum and inertia to it. I was watching a video earlier this week with, and I can't remember the guy's name, but he's the owner/coach of the Dorking Wanderers, which is kind of a goofy name. But it started off as like a Sunday league team of this guy and his friends, and they needed a coach. He was like, well, I played some, but he never played like really far up. And eventually it becomes this, like, they own their own ground. He's the coach and the owner. He's doing all this, like, literally everything.
Yeah.
It was kind of crazy. And he was saying there's like this life cycle. That was a bad turnover, but straight to the keeper there. There's like this life cycle of organizations where you're building that momentum, or teams especially. You're building that momentum. You're getting good. You're having a really good run. And eventually there's some point where it starts to kind of go on a downturn. And if you can make that downturn as brief as possible and rebuild and get this, like, the upturn again, then those are the teams that, like, you can't necessarily get year after year after year amazing kind of quality, but it's like, how can you make the runs where it does go wrong as short as possible? And maybe it's just a half. Maybe it's a game. Hey, we had a bad game. What are we doing to fix it? And that was kind of really interesting to see somebody that's like, he's in the weeds of like running his organization, recruiting players, paying players, doing all that stuff, but also trying not to, like, spend hundreds of millions of pounds to get himself in debt. Good turnover.
Yeah,
shot
oof.
Just wide. There's 3-on-1 there. Good attacking play. Good turnover ball. That's what you want to see out of some of your forward players.
Got a whole line change here.
Yeah. This is like a hockey line change. Everybody that's on the field for the York PAFC, they are all coming off, it looks like. Basically everybody but the keeper, perhaps. Which, fair play to them if they brought all these guys. It's a training exercise for them as well.
Yeah.
And we've got 62 minutes gone, so maybe the second group of guys will give a half-hour run to them. See how they do, if nothing else. And like we've talked before about how there's kind of that unsettled time when you have a change. I mean, everybody's going to be on the same, trying to get up to speed.
Yeah, and I think, for them, they're brand new. So they have more games than we do, but we've been together for a year. So. But even for us, every season you have that little lull of like nobody's doing anything. So to get back out and do it again, like it takes a little bit to get us all on the same page again.
Yeah, and then it's kind of a weird thing to say, but like you can keep yourself fit, you can run and swim and do all the stuff you need to do yoga to stay flexible, but like true match fitness, it's like a different sort of level. And you just have to see, I remember when we had Freddie on as player of the game.
Yeah.
And, it's 5, 8, 9 minutes after the game, and he is still huffing and puffing.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's just run, 8 or 9 miles out there.
Yeah.
Which is just nuts. So, some other interesting things, because I am also a tech nerd. Is there any look at doing, and I know we're not Premier League level or anything like that, not like UPSL Premier League level, but not further up. Is there any look at getting data collection stuff while the guys are playing or something like that, with like vests and some of that kind of stuff?
Yes, so we actually are working on a deal kind of, I don't know if you like read my emails or something, but we're actually working on a deal right now with one of the top providers. They actually are out of Italy, called K-Sport, and they're trying to make a market here in the U.S. So we have been approached to be a pilot team for them.
Oh, that'd be great.
So I mean, and their stuff is stuff that's used in like Serie A.
Wow.
Like top level. Everything that AI creates nowadays is crazy.
Yeah.
It's actually scary, but when you get good stuff out of it, you get great stuff out of it. So they are able to like almost analyze with these vests as if you were sitting in a helicopter above the field. And just track guys' movements and obviously get their, the data of their touches and just the distance they traveled and all that stuff. So really, really cool. It's going to be in the works. So I'm sure the guys are going to get excited when they go back and watch this game because they don't know anything about it as Obi shoots and gets us a corner. It's, really, really exciting that we have clubs that are like, or businesses that are like, hey, we want to use you guys as a pilot.
Yeah, because essentially for them, it's kind of no risk.
Yeah.
We don't have it anyway. We don't really have the budget to necessarily go out and say, okay, we're going to shop around and be like, all right, well, we're going to get this thing or that model or whatever. But it's more like them saying, hey, you guys can be the test bed. And that's going to be great for them because AI is all about feeding it large volumes of data. Moore shoots it into the defender. He goes pushed over, and the referee's going to let that one go.
No, yep. Drew's been on the ground a little bit too much, so I'd probably not give it a call.
Keeper's on it.
Yeah, and I think for us, like, these businesses come on, our social media and they go on to, our broadcasts and stuff like that. So they see the product that we put out. So, that's a testament to YG. They do a fantastic job with our broadcast, our marketing. I want to say girls, but that's probably not
the ladies.
The ladies. Cassie and Haley, they're phenomenal at what they do.
Through the lines is Morris here.
And that's put up over the top. Probably as a corner. Thought it deflected, but not even going to entertain it.
No.
But yeah, like I said, our like whole team that we have for the Islanders, front office to the people that we don't see, the people that set up the field and stuff like that, really, really good. So I think that's just a testament to why these businesses kind of trust us to do those things.
I also put in a plug for folks at home. Many of the people Alex is talking about, myself included, we're volunteers, and we're out here because, hey, we love soccer, we love the game, and you know what? I'll be honest, I've fallen in love with the team, and it's just fun to watch them and see what they can do. And whether it's an adult like myself or teenagers, I know at my high school, I've been talking with the volunteer and co-op coordinator, that if you need volunteer hours, this qualifies because the Capital City Islanders are run under the aegis of a nonprofit. So we're especially that way, but separate from that, we're able to get the volunteer hours for folks like if you're a National Honor Society or something like that. So it's a great opportunity, lots of fun to come out to the island and see the game and help out. Like, for example, up here in the booth, I would love to have somebody take care of stats for me so I can pay attention to the game and then be able to do some number crunching with that. And if we ever get the vests and stuff and be able to do some real number crunching, that would be a huge, really cool thing for somebody that's super a numbers nerd when it comes to sports. Even if you're not super into soccer, that'd be a great thing to kind of dip your toe into. If this is something you perhaps want to do, study in college and go off to do like data analytics would be really neat, because then that would be somebody that would come and give me numbers and be like, okay, now I know what this means, and look at it and be like, oh, yeah, we're running these guys right off the park because we're like, how much possession do we have? We can go by our guts here and say, yeah, we're possessing the ball a lot. We're spending huge portions of the game in their side of the field. Here in the second half already, we've got 8 shots to their 1. So those kind of things would be a little more concrete, a little more definite with something like that, and be able to have an on-staff stat person would be lovely. I'm sure we could get all kinds of cool stuff out of that. It would be really interesting to see.
And there's other positions too. Like, I would love to. For our ticket sales, like, you can get paid to do that. We have all the resources that you need to be able to contact clubs and groups and all that, and you would get paid to do it. So that is one of the positions that we do we do compensate. Obviously, getting people in the stands is one of our most important things that we want to accomplish. But everybody, a part of our group, has access to codes and stuff where they can get paid for tickets. So bringing in groups like you're saying for National Honor Society or whatever that may be, it's a good opportunity to, get rewarded for a little bit of effort for just your connections, stuff like that. All of our players have an opportunity to get paid for bringing in people.
Yeah, if your group is interested in running a fundraiser, go to our website and send us an email. We can definitely set up something that would be QR code based or a link based kind of system. And then, if I remember correctly, correct me on this, Alex, would be that the group doing the fundraiser would keep 10% of the sales.
Correct. Yep.
Whether you want to go group sales with like a $6 ticket rate,
Correct.
or the standard and just sell it to whoever at that way. And it'd be a really simple thing you could send out to, say, for example, if you were a youth soccer group, to send out to the parents and booster club and things like that and say, hey, 10% of everything we sell. So bring the kids, bring the grandparents, bring the cousins. And it's another thing, and it's not the same as everything else you're trying to sell with your team. With like subs, and when I was in high school, we sold candles and all kinds of really just awful stuff.
Oh boy,
that one's a little not enough curl, a little too much loft. But yeah, that can be a great fundraiser, something just different. And then if it's something you're selling out to the members of the group, you're getting the kids out to see pretty high-level soccer locally at a very affordable price, which when you compare it to lots of other things, we were just talking about the World Cup, could be, unfortunately, fabulously expensive to take a family outing, but this could be. I think I did the math. If I was going to be able to go to see the U.S. national team in Los Angeles, and if it was going to be me, my wife, and my kid, it would have ended up costing somewhere in the area of $10,000 to $12,000 all told to go see the national team. And for that same kind of dollar value, I think it was like 16 years of coming to Islanders games for us. So we could keep coming out to the game until the time that I could get my daughter to drive us to the game, which would be a pretty cool thing.
Hopefully in 16 years we're not playing in this league, and not to, crush our fans, hopes and dreams of paying $10 center a game, but still, hopefully in that time we're playing at a much higher level, and
it warrants the ticket price. Yeah, so folks, that is part of the long-term plan here. 73 minutes on the clock, 5-0 for the Islanders. Is to the old Islanders, I'll call them. We're in the USL, was it USL 1?
Correct, because that was the highest level.
Yeah. And if you've been following anything with the USL, they are trying to kind of slowly but surely become like an alternative or a competitor to the MLS. Now, the MLS is the big dog in the United States, but it's very much a closed league. There's no promotion. There's no relegation. There's big money, and also that means that they're not likely to institute pro-rel anytime soon. So there's it's kind of no downside to being a bad team, and I worry, maybe this is just me and my hobby horse here, but I worry long-term that you'll end up with teams down at the bottom of the league, sort of like baseball does, because of the revenue sharing. You'll end up with teams being like the Miami Marlins of that was offsides, being like the Miami Marlins of the USL and spending less than they're taking in just on the revenue sharing and putting on a really terrible product and being fine with being a terrible team, getting 1,000 fans to the game a night, and really having bargain basement kind of product out there. And then you have super teams like Inter Miami, and they're just throwing huge gobs of cash at Messi and all of his pals. And it ends up being like the dream team in the Olympics. Like, okay, let's
Correct.
just get all the best guys, even though they're kind of getting old and creaky. It's just, I'm not sure it's good for the American game when I think if we can, I'm not saying the USL method is entirely perfect.
It's a great ball.
Yeah. Whoop. Good change of pace. Trying to get it out of their feet. Oh.
Oh, boy.
I think it was.
You can't, yeah.
There's
The
some
ref saying he's
communication.
offsides. Can't be offsides when the ball's out of bounds.
And also, he didn't touch the ball.
Correct.
So what's the call here, folks? Looks like they're going for the. Okay, so it looks like eventually there's good communication between the referees, and that's what you want. You want the referees to confer and sort things out. At this level, the referees wear microphones so they can talk to each other. Correct?
Typically, I don't think this group has.
Oh, okay. Because I have seen it a couple of the games in the fall on the island.
It's a big ball to the back post. Oh, and Shea with the whoo.
That was good technique. Kept his head down. A little bit of slice to it, so it did go wide. But you know what? As a defender, it's not the worst thing to take a speculative shot every once in a while like that. If they're going to be that kind of hard and that kind of low, you never know. Some beautiful shots from our sideline cam tonight. Folks at YG Productions doing a couple experiments here, and that's one of the cool things that we can do at this level. Back in play here. 77 minutes gone. Islanders up 5-0. Just one goal here in the second half.
Oh, boy.
A little loose on that one, but
Also on that one. Yeah.
Turnover ball from the keeper.
As a goalkeeper myself, if I'm, opening up and checking down to you, I don't want you to play it back towards the center of the goal.
Yeah.
So that's, something, again, that's got to get worked on and fixed. That's a great ball by Sar into Obi, and that's another great ball across, and that ball's up and over. Just drive it. Just drive it home, down on the ground, to the back posts. Don't need to make it fancy.
No, it was a good connection down through the sideline, and a lot of good interplay, which is what we want to see, and but just couldn't quite get the final connection there.
Right. And I think the refs are switching the call here.
What are they saying?
It's a corner kick.
Interesting. Okay, so maybe according to the referees, the reason it went out of play was not the 9-iron sort of shot from Maddox Hockenberry, excuse me. It was off the defender. So again, with a beautiful sideline shot here from YG Productions. As we get back underway. Near post. Off the defender.
It's going to be another one again.
On the post. It's interesting. As I've mentioned earlier, I am an old dog, but when I played, you definitely put somebody on each post.
Oh, yeah.
These guys do it, but I do see, and I'm curious what your perspective is on this, Alex, that in the Premier League and some other places, they've stopped doing that.
Yeah, I don't.
And they're playing more like a zone hybrid kind of defense.
For me personally, sometimes I'll train with the guys and I'll jump in goal.
Mm-hmm.
But I prefer nobody on the posts because I want to be able to track the ball all the way through and not have other guys in my line of sight, especially ones that are on our own team. So I get it sometimes, but me personally, I prefer not to.
I played a little goalie because I was the one, again, stupid enough to go in goal and get kicked in the head a couple times. And I remember I went in high school in the JV game. Our starting goalkeeper broke his finger,
That's
and
a
he's
good
like,
save there by Sar, or shot by Sar.
shot
Nick Ritter
and it
with
goes
the goal.
Ritter on the follow-up. It's at 80 minutes gone. Yeah, Nick Ritter, Johnny on the spot, so to speak. It's always nice. You got to be around the ball, have a nose for the ball. It was always one of those things. I mean, we're going to miss Clovis Cabre, but he always had that nose for the ball, just kind of being in the right place, right time. So it's nice to see a couple more of these guys find that spot, find that hole. All right, let's take a look at a replay here. Cuts back inside, right-handed shot, right-footed shot, excuse me. Does a good job to settle it, does Ritter. Not rush his shot. He could have easily just cranked it, blazed it straight over the goal. But from behind the goal, see the keeper get down to it. And Ritter does a good job. Just pass it past the keeper. We just got the news this week that Mo Salah is going to be leaving Liverpool. He's one of the teams that I follow, and they've been playing a lot of like his best ever goals, and he's really known for that kind of like cut in from the right hand side, get it on his left foot and curl it. But so many of his shots and his goals were so delicate. They weren't that curving, hooking. It wasn't him blasting the ball. It was just like a little flick, a little pass, a little something here, and it's interesting. It's
a great ball.
Nothing called offside there.
And that's Nkube in the middle there. He just has a tremendous vision. Not the fastest guy.
Yeah.
But he
sees the field well.
Just sees the field so well. And I'm sure we'll see a lot of him this year.
Yeah, we didn't really seem to get a whole lot that I noticed anyway. Maybe you did from Pacao de Graft. I didn't necessarily be like, yes, that's.
Yeah,
but
no.
I suppose a lot of the game was fairly settled and calm.
Yeah, it was. When you're playing next to Freddie and Josiah, and William inside, it's, you're not gonna again, like I said earlier, you're not gonna really stand out with a group around you like that, but that group will stand out as a whole, which is really exciting.
Not sure what's.
They're saying the mic's on.
So we've got number 12 coming on.
And that's Almaty.
Okay.
Yep. Starry Almaty. He's a forward. Pretty quick, pretty shifty. He has a nose for the goal, so we'll see what he can do here in the next 10 minutes or so.
Okay.
Nick Ritter's in again.
Yeah, so it's good to see now we've got kind of I don't want to say the final form, but we've got guys to know, okay, you're on the squad for the season, but they're still fighting to be like, no, if maybe I'm not the starter, but I want to be the first guy off the bench. I want to be the guy the coach looks to and says, okay, you're up, kid.
But I mean,
and they're fighting.
That's a conversation that Johnny and Spin have with them week after week is, we're our 12th guy on the bench, is pushing, our 11th or 10th or 9th or 8th. Like, they're pushing all the guys that are on the field. Like, we're just creating this high standard where we want to be able to sub somebody off and miss nothing. So it's exciting that we have that depth. Last year in the spring, we were looking at it, we're like, oh, we don't have this depth. So when it was time to sub, it was really, really tough.
Yeah.
The fall, I think we got a little bit better. I think now we're at a really good position. And I think there's still areas that we can continue to grow in and improve in. Oof.
Almost got on the end of that one. Yeah, like we were saying, potentially having that second squad would also help that.
Absolutely.
Because ultimately you're not too concerned necessarily in the grand scheme of things about those results. I mean, obviously you want him to do well and grow and get better, but if it really comes down to it, and you're like, hey, we need a goalie. Our goalie's gone down. Like, kid, you're up to the main squad. You're up to the premier for this, and the same thing would kind of go as we move forward. I would think.
Yeah, I mean,
and then the players would relish that. It's like, okay, I'm being called up. Like, yeah, put me in. I want to play.
Yeah. And I mean, we talked about the injuries earlier. Cam Avery's here. He had a PCL injury. Maybe he ducked off. I don't know. It's a little cold to just be standing out there. Yeah. But he was here earlier, so he's still involved with the team. We're just waiting on some results and stuff from his PCL injury. So he's going through rehab and everything. We look at Gage. We look at Jeremiah, all injured right now, unable to play. So it's next guy up, right? So we look at Aiden, starting. Luke Kramer is a great outside back as well. So a lot of guys that can just fill these roles and provide that depth for us. And things happen, right? These guys all are working regular jobs. We talk about that. So on the weekend, some guys get called into work, or some of these guys have families, they have kids. I know when something happens with the kid, it's like impossible to get up.
Everything
and go
drops.
Yeah. So it's a ambitious cross there that might almost went into the back of the net there. But yeah, so like it happens. Like guys have to step away from soccer to deal with things.
Yeah.
And even the next guy up.
From us. Or we don't have it. For the PA announcer.
I think they got it sorted. Oof. It's a good chance there.
All right, so we've got 82-22 on the clocks. Islanders up 6-0. We got a pair of goals from Josiah Ramirez and Freddie Opoku. See if either of them can complete the hat trick. And we also got goals from Jai. Started things off back in the first minute, and the most recent goal in the 80th minute was from Nick Ritter, and he's been kind of lively up front. It's been good to see. Getting some good between the defenders kind of attacks. Settle the ball. Shot goes into the crowd. Chip back into the box. Islanders putting them under a lot of pressure. But scramble defense does the job. Foul called there. So Islanders have had 14 shots to just 1 here in the second half. And they've got 2 goals for their trouble. Number 77 there for York PAFC. At about the 60th minute mark, we did have York PA do a wholesale change. Go straight through to the keeper. Quick throw down the left-hand side there. Into the middle. Got overload to the left-hand side. Lots of Islanders streaming forward. .85-22 on the clock.
Behind on our scoreboard, so we're actually closer to like 88. We had lost some power and connectivity to our scoreboard, so yeah, whatever you're watching on the live stream is probably the most accurate. So we're just a little bit off here in stadium, but I don't think anybody's going to complain if they do go off the scoreboard for an extra couple minutes. It's a good ball. Can put across. Ooh, good save.
Good save from the keeper.
Wow.
If that one goes through, we've got an Islander right there in the 6-yard box to get their body. All you got to do is get your body in the way of that one. That one's going in. Corner kick goes short.
Oh boy, ambitious. think it could have stacked 4 goals.
Yeah.
It was still missed.
That was a little too much on that one. So, Alex, going way, way back for my next history tidbit, 1888, right? March 22nd. Aston Villa director William McGregor wrote a letter proposing a structured league so clubs wouldn't go broke after an early FA Cup exit. Because back then, teams basically just scheduled random games whenever they could with whomever they could, and then that's how they would kind of sustain their club. And the FA Cup was kind of the only consistent thing. And the very next day, they established the Football League, as it became known. And
they moved quick to get that done in a day. Wow.
Yeah, that was the blueprint.
Like
probably because there were lots of other teams like, yes, please. That's what we're running into. So March 22nd, 1888.
That is interesting.
Yeah, good long time ago.
Too bad they're not around because there's a lot of things that I need to get done in a day, and I just can't. I can't get it done. So
probably that was warp speed for them back then because everything kind of moved at the speed of, the handwritten letter and postal service. I know the British Postal Service is, or at least back then, was quite good. I think you get letters 4 to 5 times a day if you lived in London.
Wow.
Which is pretty crazy. So you could write something.
So it's like Amazon.
Yeah, it was nuts. It was pretty crazy.
Oof, just wide.
Just wide. That was another good one where they didn't put too much on that one. Yeah.
I think they called the final whistle there.
Yeah, I guess that's what we're calling it there. Although the clock in the stadium does say 88, as you said, we did lose power. So the referee, as always, is keeping their watch on the time there. So we've got 6-0 for the Islanders here. First half, we got a couple goals here. We'll take a look at the replays here in just a moment. We got 4 goals in the first half, 2 in the second. Alex, what was the kind of tale of the game for you? What would you say?
Yeah, I would just say, we got our feet back under us. We're ready to go. We scored goals, which is great, which is what we need. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we need those games that we'll jump in here to the replay, and I'll finish that.
Let's take a look. That was a misplay by the keeper well out of the box. That's the first goal from Jai Rose way back in the first half. And we'll see if we can get the second one going. So we got a free kick here from Josiah Ramirez. 20:46 on the clock at this one. Good right-footed shot, down low. Gets it past the keeper. Next, we're going to take a look at a shot from Freddie Poku. Left-footed, and it pushes it past the keeper. This one is a trickeration here with Josiah Ramirez and Drew Morris connecting. Now we're into the second half here. Good slip play there. Apoku shifts it to his left foot and blasts it straight at the keeper, but just over the head of the keeper, and he couldn't get his hands up to it. See that replay again. We got a third angle in this one, right here. Great goal cam. That's one of the shots that popped over the top there. Left-footed shot, and then Ritter brings it down and pushes it right past the keeper. That's one of those things my high school coach said. You just got to make the keeper make a save. There's a keeper makes the save, but then cool, calm, and collected there from Nick Ritter in the 80th minute. So really great stuff all around. So, Alex, we're back here, not on City Island next week. So,
correct.
April 4th, not exactly our home opener. We'll call it the season opener instead, against SFC 1926, I believe is what their full name is.
Yep.
So, starting the Premier League season, big hopes?
I wouldn't say hopes, just the standard, the expectation, right? National round of 16 in our very first year, the standard is better than that. So we got to be better. We had New York Renegades back against the wall in the second half. We show up in the first half. I think it's a totally different game.
Yeah.
They're national champions. They are in the North. We will have to play them if they get out of their division. There's
Yeah.
no questions asked, and the expectation is we beat them.
Yeah, and that's a totally. I mean, you think for a first season, not just first year, but first season in the Premier League, as you said, that's when those kind of sliding doors moments. The first half of that changes around, eke out a win, and then you get even further into it, and you never know what happens at that level. And then, gosh, does that open doors for? I mean, part of this is also for these players to maybe make a jump to full professional.
Yeah.
And then also again for recruiting, like, oh, you're the guys that did that huge run. We got local media. Like, it's all to the good. So super cool. So we'll be back here again next week. 6 p.m. is the kickoff. Get your tickets online at Capital C Islanders. And thanks to all of our sponsors stuff. Thanks to the beautiful replays here tonight from YG Productions, especially down
great camera
the
views.
field side. I'm Rob Sterner, alongside Islanders CEO and owner Alex McGee. Until next time, Islanders wins 6-0.
And be sure to tune in to the Islanders Insider featuring Rob.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.